welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Fletch. Today I want to talk about 35 cents a gallon of gas. Stick around, it'll be interesting. How's everybody doing? I'm doing great. Hope you are as well. Here in Minnesota, it's about humidity levels about Florida. It's sticky, and struggling a little bit with the breathing sitting out here, but it's starting to cool off a little bit. Yes, I was talking about 35 cents a gallon of gas. I did pay that in 1973. Now, I was 13, but I still had to buy gas for the old mini bike. It went to 60 cents. So from 35 cents to 60 cents was a big shock. It was scary times. I remember that. I remember gas lines being very long. They incorporated a odd even based on your license plate. You had an odd number, you got to get gas on the odd day. You got to stand in line and wait. People pushing the vehicles to the line, pushing vehicles while in line, helping each other out. But I do remember it was scary. At the time, I didn't know why. All I think I remember was an Arab embargo. They cut us off, basically. They said, that's enough. No more. So it darn near doubled in price. And, the reason, I think they're just sick and tired of us. They had oil, and we needed it, and they knew it. They took advantage on that. So there was an embargo. Oil prices went from $3 a barrel to $12 a barrel. So 4 times it jumped. And it's happened over the period of years. Back in 2001, 9/11, it doubled around here. I mean, that morning the attack happened, and that night I think it doubled. And of course, that's the economy, and that's supply and demand. I used to be in the lumber industry. One mill that produced lumber burned down, while everybody else has jacked up the price. So it kind of was that. That was in 2001. But back into 1973, scary times. Didn't know when it was going to end. I didn't know what was going on. I was 13. People were starting to siphon gas, get the old garden hose and give it a good suck and get the flow going. So there was a lot of that going on. I think I wouldn't steal them, but I knew how to do it, and it's not pleasant. Not pleasant at all. But that was happening. Gas doubled. And it was hard to get too. I had, people willing to pay it, of course, but it was hard to get. The gas stations couldn't keep up with the demand. You get panic setting in, and you're going to run out of gas. Those tanks down below the ground only hold so much, so they did run out of gas. Things that came about, I remember gas caps with keys to lock them up. I even purchased them myself. I think a couple of times somebody's came up to my vehicle and stole my gas. So yes, I got the key cap. Of course, they were easy to get into still, but it probably stopped most people trying to siphon your gas. So I want to talk about is currently what we're going through, and we know the reason why. Hopefully this ends. Keep hearing it daily. Oh, it's going to come down, but we're still dealing with it. Last time I seen it was the average price was $4.51 a gallon for regular and $5.21 for diesel. I have so much respect for truck drivers. I watch a couple on YouTube, and they know where a nickel can save them a lot of money, especially the owner-operator truck drivers. So they're struggling out there, and they know how to avoid California. Talking about California, currently they're at 5.83 a gallon for regular and 7.13 for diesel. That is 20 cents over the average. I'm sorry, $2 a gallon over the average. Good old California, higher taxes, strict on their blends, which, yeah, they don't like the pollution. I understand it. And limited on the refineries they have in the old state. So, yeah, I feel for you people in California. But, again, you chose to live there. So here in Minnesota, what I've seen was $3.94 an average. I think it's up over $4 in Minnesota. Currently $5.03 for diesel. So we always seem to be a little bit under the average, and that's a good thing. I know we got a couple big refineries here in the state, so again, it doesn't really matter sometimes. It's where it comes from and whatnot. So yeah, another thing that came about with the embargo in 1973. The big three: Chevy, Ford, Plymouth, Dodge, 4 or 5. Everybody was making muscle cars, big V8s, raw power, higher octane gas needed. That's what they're selling. They sold. But then 1973 came around, and the people started demanding more economy cars. 6-cylinder, 4-cylinder, lighter, smaller. They had to change. And what also changed is in the past, these big block motors just was a carburetor, basic big motor, didn't have all the pollution stuff on it and efficiency stuff. So back in the day, you'd open your hood up, look down, hey, I can see the ground around the engine. But after that, then they started incorporated all the exhaust stuff and lines for gas and reburning and this and that. Now you open up your hood, I know it's my man, I look down, I don't see the ground. Good or bad, I don't know. I like the way my van runs, I like the mileage it gets, but that's what happened in 1973. More junk under the hood. For better or worse, I don't know. Let's talk about alternatives. Planning. If you have to make 2 trips, do it in 1 day. I don't buy a lot of gas. I'm retired. I might buy 1 to 2 tanks a month if I don't go anywhere. And I know there's people out there that gotta go to work. They have to commute, and that some people have some long drives, 1 hour one way. It's crazy, but that's what they chose. And there's not much you can do about it. Maybe you can work at home a couple of days a week. I would save a bunch. Other options is gas cards, BP, Holiday, Shell, save a little bit by using their card. Amazon Prime offers something too. I usually don't. I just put the gas. It is what it is. If I have to have gas, I gotta have gas. There's certain cities I don't go in to get gas. At Minneapolis, for one thing, I don't get gas there because they're always 10 to 20 cent higher a gallon. So I don't go there to get gas. There is some local smaller cities that are nearby that are cheaper, but I don't make it a way to get out there and just to get the gas. I spend just much money getting out there to get the cheaper gas, so I don't do it. Let's talk about electric cars. They, in the early 2000s or the early 2020, they start to come around, and then the government gives you a little bit of break, and you can knock off $7,500. They were selling. Tesla's a big number one guy out there. Ford decided to go, let's go down, let's give it all in. Chevy started to give it all in. Let's do it. There's pros and cons with electric vehicles, as we're now finding out. For the manufacturer standpoint, sales are going down because the government's not giving them $7,500 to knock off. So that's slowed down the e-cars down, and I don't know if the sales have turned around. I look at them, I think there's more cons than pros, but I think we're going to have to go down that road eventually. And the cons on the cars is they're a heavy car. That battery is heavy. And I don't think people realize this kind of stuff when they buy it, that you're going to have more tire wear. One, for the weight, and second, the takeoff in these things. These things will get up and go if you want to go, and that just wears those tires. And also, you don't buy regular tires for them. You should be getting tires that are made for a heavier car. And so, of course, now tires are more money. Anxiety. I can relate. I have an e-bike. If that thing gets down to a quarter of a battery left, I'm sweating. And if I'm 5-10 miles out and I'm like, oh no, I got to pedal this tank back without battery assist. Ugh. So I know anxiety's like. So I'm sure everybody who owns an e-car experiences it. If they're out on the highway and they're 20 miles away and they got about 10 miles left, I'm surprised we don't see more dead cars on the side of the road. I know, it kind of warned you better stop and get some juice, but that takes time. You gotta filling up our tanks, 5 minutes, you're in and out. E-car, you're 45 minutes out, I believe. So that's one con against those things. Another is that pro, yes, you get away from paying gas tax. Cons, you're going to pay for gas tax. It's one way or another. So I think what they're doing now is collecting on the license tabs. So I don't know. I just bought a newer van. I don't know what it is. It's going to probably be $100 to $120. It's probably double for an e-car or something. I don't know. But that's one way they're going to get you. There's no way you're going to be traveling on our roads and not pay tax on getting more improvement on the roads, because we need it. We definitely do need it. So you're going to be paying license tabs well beyond what I will be paying. So that's what happens. All right, let's see. Recapping this. Gas prices are high. No way we can get around it. There's some things we can do to lighten load. I am a senior. I am retired. I don't travel much, and so it's not a big thing on my mind. But I know if your work commute, it is, and I feel for you. Hopefully, this will all go down and get back to normal, and we can grumble about something else. But I appreciate you watching. If you like, please subscribe or hit the like button. Also, always leave a comment. Leave a story. one way to saving gas. I'm no expert, but I'm sure there's other methods out there. So, related to this topic, keep it simple. Until the next time, take care.